before you start, Abby, I'm going to ask you guys to please be ready.
Okay, Prof. Okay, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, well, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's get started. So
Okay,
I'm going to talk about purposes of assessment, and assessment can have multiple purposes. Actually, there are three main purposes of assessment that we could find in our classrooms. The first one is the instructional.
Instructional, yes.
The instructional purpose. So this purpose will be require teachers to use assessment tools in collecting data on students' learning. And in order to understand how much they know and their skills. As a future teachers, we are able to adjust our instruction through these assessment tools in order to know where our students are in their learning process. It's really common to engage in this type of assessment all the time in our classrooms. For instance, when we ask for example, when we ask our students if they have understood a point we present it. On the other side, we have to be more conscious in what assessment we do and how we do it.
How we do it, yeah. Why?
And what?
Why? Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that?
Yes, I said that we need to be conscious in the way that we assess our students. If we are doing in a correct way, for example, if we are using the techniques or the instruments properly.
Yeah, purposefully. Yes, great. Thank you for the explanation.
Okay, and the next purpose is student-centered, which is focused on the process of identifying individual students' strengths and weaknesses, which is the same as a diagnostic assessment. I think. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I see your screen. It says diagnostic assessment techniques.
Okay, because the other recording has been completed. Give me a sec.
Yeah, sure.
This one, sure. Okay, now. What I was saying is that diagnostic assessment is the same, and it's also related with placement testing.
Yeah.
However, the purpose is to group students in a class based on, for example, similar skills development, as we were discussing before.
Yes.
Diagnostic assessment, on the other hand, focuses on the individual student's strengths and weaknesses. Assessment approaches are being used to identify students at risk of failing university courses in order to provide support for learning. As you can see in this part, diagnostic assessment techniques, as we can see in the image, we can use many kinds of assessment tools. For example, I remember that I had a teacher, a professor actually, that she gave us some kind of happy or sad
Happy faces.
Yes,
Okay.
in order to notice if we have understood the topic or not. For example, happy faces, you understood well. The sad, you didn't understand, and maybe the yellow face was like I don't know, maybe in the middle, kind of. You know. Yes, the next purpose that we have here is the administrative. The administrative purpose consists of grading, which is the process of summarizing a student achievement using, as you can see, a numerical grading, or maybe another, or an ordinal like A, B, or C. Okay. Grading, I have to say that grading is a complex evaluative practice that requires that requires teachers to make judgment about student learning. So, which is really tough for us. Grades are used most notably to make public statements to students, parents, and principal about student achievement. But as a teacher, we have to consider that we don't have to. We must not judge our students only for the grading, because sometimes students have a bad day, and that doesn't mean that they don't know the content, or they are not smart or something like that. I've considered to enlist some purpose.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Yes. It's here in purple, no?
In purple. Over here, I have this one that we have over here. I consider to put this here because understanding the different purpose for assessment is the most important first step in making informed assessment decisions. For example, we have here to group my students for instruction purposes in my class, or for example, to obtain information on my students' progress. The purpose of our assessment influence the frequency and timing. We need to take into account the time in order to establish our purposes for assessment.
Yeah.
And the assessment influence that we could have in our classes is called assessment events. The methods we use for assess is called assessment tools, and how an assessment is carried out is known as assessment processes.
Processes.
These assessment purposes are not. We cannot say that they are good or they are bad. So the key is for us conducting our assessment, choosing assessment tools and creating assessment processes. But the most important thing in here, I consider that is to be conscious and well-informed effort about our assessment. Okay.
Great.
And this is all for this the
About
point.
1.2, no? About 1.2 purposes of assessment. Yeah, let me just inform the students something about this, no? This what this material. This material that Gabby has just presented to you is on page 7, no? 7 and 7, 8, 9 in the book, in the PDF, in the PDF assessment in the language classroom. No? So it's not in the summary that you have in first bimester unit 1, right? But it doesn't mean that doesn't mean that it's not part of the course, no. So I would like you to read this also in. I'm going to give you at the end of this session. I'm going to give you the rest, the remaining half an hour or so you can read, no, this and contrast what you have heard from Abby, okay, and you relate it to what's in the book, no? So it's pages 7, 8, and 9, and then she's going to talk about high quality assessment, and that is 1.3, which is on pages 11, 12, and 13, I think, no? Yeah, which is also a very important topic, no? Okay, so if you want now, for example, you can open in your computer, or, no, or I don't know if you're working on a computer or cell phone or tablet. You can use another device and open your book in PDF. And as Abby explains things, you read the book, no? You see the passages in the book that, and find the connections, no? Yeah, thank you, thank you. Just sorry, no, Abby, for that interruption. So please.
Okay, perfect.
Go on.
So now we're going to see something about high quality assessment, and the first thing is what is it about? So these are those practices that, give me a minute. My internet doesn't work well. Okay, anyways, these are those practices that can provide results, verifying and promoting target student learning. There are a number of fundamental aspects of high quality practices that we are going to see by one. The first one is alignment. It doesn't work, this. Maybe, okay, this one, alignment. It is the degree of agreement among curriculum, instruction, standards, and assessments, or tests. For this purpose, we need to select appropriate assessment methods, which reflects or represent clear and appropriate learning outcomes or goals. The second one is validity, and this part uses a consequence that result from the assessment, and also it reflects or represent This means that a high quality assessment process is legitimate based on the assessment result. So in this case, validity is what were the results of our assessment. The third one is reliability, and this it is referred to the consistency, stability, and dependability of the assessment results. Reliability is the indicator of the number of errors we are making in the students' work, in our students' work, and how consistent our marking is, or our assessment about, I don't know, the scores. Then for the next one is fairness. This is achieved when students are provided with an equal opportunity to demonstrate achievement and assessment scores that are comparably valid. Fairness also means that students are given equal opportunity to learn. Okay, that's why this is the name is fair of when in this case fairness, because we need to make sure that our assessment is equal for all students. The next one is practicality and efficiency. These are the resources, effort, and time required for the assessment, taking into consideration the factibility of the circumstances. Teachers in this part need to guide students in self and peer assessment of their draft. For example, if we don't have enough time to share knowledge or to share the content that we planned, we can assess. We can use peer assessment, and then that way we can encourage them to take a responsibility for their own learning. That is active students' ownership of their learning. So we encourage them to assess as well. Finally, we have the consequences in here. These are the resources. No, this term is consequences. This term is associated with the results of the use or misuse of assessment results. Some examples of consequences are that students can learn in ways that are consistent with the assessment task. Assessment also can motivate students to learn. The student-teacher relationship is influenced by the nature of assessment in this case. So this is for high quality assessment.
High quality assessment. High quality assessment. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. You've done quite a good job on something that is, I understand it might be difficult to explain, and it was and all that, but you've done an incredible job. Thank you very much, Avi.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that. Great. Yeah. So maybe something that was in the last slide, when you talked about consequences, there's a term, that is used to talk about the consequences, and this term is washback. So washback is more or less the consequences. So sometimes it can be positive or negative. So you say, for example, positive washback, or you say negative washback, and like you said, the goal of the teacher should be that when he uses a assessment, that the students have a good that first they have a good impression, and that they are motivated, because the assessment was not only just to to get a number, no? Or to get credits, but it was basically to provide the teacher with information to how he can improve, no? Future, for example, tests or future evaluations. And so you have to make sure that your assessment is also an opportunity to give feedback, no? and to motivate the student, no? Because if the student sees that this kind of assessment is useful because it gives him opportunities to review some topics, and then you do the correction and give feedback, they're going to see it as a productive activity. Yeah, rather than just a test to measure and to promote them or to fail them, right? Because that is never the objective of assessment. Huh? Assessment doesn't have that. Esa propiedad, no, that is definitive. No, it's going to tell you who passes and who doesn't. No, it's not like that. Great. So maybe just reflecting on some or recapping, ¿no? Haciendo una recapitulación, recapping. We could say that in order for us, no, as teachers, to have a good assessment, no, we have to consider these 5 or 6, no, important factors, no. Yeah, alignment, no, validity, reliability, fairness, watchback or consequences, and then practicality and efficiency. No, I know it's a lot. No, it's a lot because maybe preparing a test is maybe one of the most difficult things. No, for a teacher to do. That's why in many universities, schools, for example, it's not only one teacher, no, who makes the test, or it's a group of teachers, it's the coordinator, no, because in order for a test to be optimal, one important aspect is, for example, validity. No? Entonces you have to take the exam and check if with other colleagues, and hopefully, si fuera posible, and if it's possible, with some students, no, and check that this test or assessment is in accordance to what the students should be able to do, no. For example, you don't want to give a student a reading that is, por ejemplo, una lectura que sea de 3 hojas, no? When they are when they only have 40 minutes for the quiz, no? So, and this reading is from advanced level, and the students are in intermediate. Yeah, because that means this, for example, this section of the exam will not be valid, no? Right. And so it's usually a good idea, I suggest, no, that at least at the beginning, you get together with other colleagues, teachers, and elaborate a test, but in consensus, no, because it's not easy, right? The other aspect, also, of course, reliability, no, very, very important factor. No, you have to make sure that the quiz is that you can try, for example, the same test, okay, again with another group, and make sure that that you can trust that the results would be the same. So reliable means that you can use it today, tomorrow, okay, with the same group, and it shouldn't be it shouldn't present differences. Right, of course, fairness, like Abby said, make sure that you give the students equal opportunities. For example, if you're doing a listening part, you have to make sure that everybody, the person in the front and the person in the back, they have the same quality of sound. Or you can put one speaker in the front, one speaker in the back. Okay, because it's not fair for the students in the back that there's only one speaker and the people in the back can't hear anything. So equal opportunities, equal space, equal time. If you're working with two classes and they are parallelo A and B, you have to make sure that you give the kids the exam in the same condition, in the same condition, and in the same under the same instructions and everything. Another important aspect is practicality. Yes.
Professor, I have a
Yes.
question. I was wondering about what happens if a teacher design a test or an exam where there are some questions about something that for teachers students didn't see in our class. What kind? It could be a negative washback or another.
Washback, of course. Exactly. No, it would definitely result in the students having a negative washback. No? I know that
is incorrect to
yes.
to elaborate this kind of questions where the students do not anything about it, or maybe we didn't see in the class that.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. In my view, it's not fair. So it would go against the principle of fairness, no? Right. Also, it shouldn't be valid because it's not appropriate, no, in any way, because it's not covering things, or in this case, the contents that the students know that they will be evaluated on. No? So yes. Yeah, of course, yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that we should avoid. No? Of course, this and it's not an excuse, but I know that it's common. For example, could happen in university or something, when the teacher says, "Okay, well, this is your book, and everything that is in the book is part of the exam." But I don't agree with that. I've been there. No, I've had teachers that say, "Well, no, it's everything is in the book," and then they pick the most difficult questions. Remember that one principle of assessment is that it shouldn't be punishable. No, o sea, no es para castigar. Assessment should not be designed to fail students. On the contrary, it should be designed for teachers to give feedback, no? And for students to, of course, to be presented with ideas on how they can improve their learning. No? I mean, if teachers are not following these principles, something is wrong. It's definitely wrong. Well, I don't know why that happens. No, it shouldn't happen, of course. But well, I'm not here to offer advice, but I guess if you've had that kind of problem, maybe you should talk to the teacher and of course, try to, in the name of, and for fairness, students should be informed of the things that they are going to be evaluated. Now that's maybe one principle,
Yes,
of the assessment. Well, but good question, good question, because I know it happens, it happens, and
yeah, sometimes.
but of course we as teachers should avoid that, should avoid that. I know that we sometimes, if students are misbehaving and we want to punish them, and so we say, well, this Friday when they have the quiz, I will get even, but it's ultimately, I mean, ultimately that's not really the objective, Great, but good question. Yeah, and the last one I was mentioning was practicality. Yes, of course, you shouldn't spend all your money and all your effort making copies, asking long questions. So make it efficient. Efficient, remember, means that you do the best with the least, con los menos recursos. That's efficiency. And so one idea that appears there is good, peer assessment. So you can ask students, for example, to work in pairs, so make a little group, so where everybody talks, everybody corrects. And so that gives them more responsibility, and you can do the activity in one class, and in one class you assess more students, than if you do it one by one, If you call your students into your office, one by one, 10 minutes each, you're going to take all morning doing an assessment. So you have to be practical. Right. Okay. And so we have 5 minutes exactly here. And so I want you to take note of what you are going to do either now that you can have half an hour free, or you can do it tomorrow. Activity 1.3, that is in the book. Activity 1.2, okay, page number 9, page 9. So after the explanation of purposes of assessment that Abby did very well, you have an activity where you have to fill in the blanks. Okay, well, unfortunately, I can't show you the book now because it will take long.
I can do it, Professor, in order to make
yeah,
sure
you can do it.
that...
Yeah, great. Yeah, so to make sure that we're on the same page. Yeah. So page 9, activity number 2, you take the statements from page 10. No? Great. Yeah. So you take the statements that are on page 10, and you put them in the boxes of page 9. No? Let me see that. What page is that? Exactly. No, that's table 1.1. We take those. We go back to page 9. And we complete with 3 for each. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you read a high quality assessment, blah, blah, blah. And then on page 12, you have activity 1.3.
Okay.
Activity
so
1.3.
Activity 1.2
and 1.2, and then activity 1.3. In 1.3, you have to read these 2 excerpts, estos extractos from a real teacher. And then you answer the questions, you decide that. Okay, great. And of course, I would suggest to please read, I would suggest reading, 1.4 from the book. It's really, really good, and it complements the topics in the unit. 1.4, and maybe if you have a little more time, 1.5, maybe. What's 1.5? If you have a little extra time, read 1.5. Try also these activities. Well, maybe you won't have enough time, but take a look at them, okay? Because that would be the perfect closing for this unit 1, This unit 1. So next week we'll do a little recap and immediately start Unit 2. I'll send you the resume, the summary in Word tomorrow about Unit 2 with the main concepts, the main summaries, okay? And along with the book, remember, along with my documents, you have to keep reading the book Assessment in the Language Classroom. Okay? And that's okay. We have only 1 minute, so just to say goodbye and thank you for attending this session. And for all those who participated, thank you. And please tell maybe some students who might have been absent to catch up and watch the video, no, the Zoom video, the recording, so they can catch up with the topics today. Okay, so have a nice weekend. No, enjoy. If you have any questions regarding the homework or something, feel free to text me or call me anytime. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Prof.
Thank you, teacher.
Great. I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you, Prof.
See you on Monday. Take it easy. Goodbye. Take care.